Yeah, so this video is a bit of a new one for us. We want to try out a slightly new format, which is a Brok and Sindri recommends. And the great thing about this is that I've been hitting at you for a while about a particular book and also subsequent TV series that I really think you should get into and that you would really like. And so this kind of has a good format for this video. So I've been talking to you about the book series, The Expanse. And tell me, what do you know about The Expanse so far?
Um, Next to nothing, really. I don't want to sort of give, I guess, the wrong sort of idea. So I'd love for you to sort of just like sell it to me. Give me
Cool.
give me like a 5-minute pitch on it.
Great. Yeah, so it's going to be spoiler free, obviously. So don't worry about that for anyone that's, because this is a recommends. It's not a summary. Yeah, so essentially, The Expanse is written by James S.A. Corey, which is an alias for two writers. I think it's Ty Frank and Daniel Abrahams. I think both of which, or at least one of which, has actually worked quite closely with George R.R. Martin in the past, and you can see a lot of the writing style that's come from him, where each chapter is there's like perspective characters. So each chapter is from the perspective of a character, and that's the kind of the literary method. And it's a really good way to sort of explore a character too, because you're in their head for a chapter as well. And yeah, it's set in sort of the semi near future, where it's a few hundred years from now, and humanity basically has expanded out to the solar system. So we've settled Mars, where there's now domes and underground cities that have been built, and we've also put like space stations, like semi-permanent space stations, on the asteroid belt and some of the moons of like Saturn and Jupiter, and that's about as far as we've got. Um, Basically, there's a lot of politics involved. There's a lot of, it's about space, but it's actually really heavy on the science part of the science fiction as well. So everything's like well thought out. So I'll give you one example, just as a well thought out part. Is the science of thrusting through space, where because there's nothing to like no resistance. Like if you are flying through space at a couple of 100,000 kilometers per hour to get somewhere, what they put in is that for like the first half of the journey you're thrusting forwards, but then the second half of the journey you have to like flip round and thrust in the opposite direction to slow down in time, otherwise you'll just keep going. Stuff like that they've actually really thought about. There's also almost like a new mutation of humans called belters, who are born on these space stations in like no or very low gravity, and as such their bones and muscles grow differently, so they're all like really tall and lanky, and they don't have very strong muscles for gravity. So if they were to ever go down to Earth, their bones would get crushed. And there's some politics between Mars, which is now an independent sort of state, the Earth, which is run by the UN, is overcrowded and overpopulated and all the rest of it, and the Belters, who are basically they're out there to get ice and stuff and metals and stuff to serve the inner planets Mars and Earth, and how they kind of want their own freedom. But it's really well done. TV series is 4 seasons long. They filmed a 5th, which I think will be coming out at the end of this year. The first 3, I think, seasons were on Sci-Fi Channel, but they dropped it, and then Amazon actually bought it, which was a really, really good thing, because they've put some money into it and they've got a really good streaming service. So I recommend both, although I do prefer the books. And the books, actually, they're nowhere near as long as the Game of Thrones books. So like Game of Thrones books, if you listen to the audiobook, some of them are like 30 to 40 hours long, whereas the Expanse books are like 12 to 20 hours long. And there's been pretty much one a year for the last 8 years, which is pretty good. And yeah, as I said, the first one was really, really intriguing, good characters. Second one was a good story and a bit more of like a development. The third one was like, whoa, what's happening here? And then the fourth one was this real slow thing, and I was thinking, have they lost it? Like, where is it? This is a bit slow. But then the last like half of the book, it was mind blowing. And then I just finished book 5, so I haven't finished the whole series either, but I just finished book 5, and it was non-stop, like, and it was insane. And book 5 is a bit like The Empire Strikes Back for this series. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, fair enough. So it sounds like in terms of audiobook length, it's not far off the Witcher books in terms of like how long it'll take to get through them.
Yeah, like, depending on when you listen to them, like if you've got, say, an hour's commute to work and an hour's commute home, and you've got the audiobook, and you just literally have it on for the commute each way, each day, it will take you a week roughly to get through a book, which is not a bad, time frame. In terms of like content, I would say it's got a lot of like the Mass Effect qualities to it in a lot of ways, but it's also got that kind of it does have some levels of Game of Thrones feel, but without being too contrived in that same way. Like it's just realistic characters. It seems like realistic characters, realistic consequences, but still really like immersive. And as I said, I can't speak more highly of it than I can. Like this is my top. I've fallen in love with this series. I can't get enough of it. I can't get through these books quick enough at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. So, and again on Amazon Video now, is that all of the seasons moved
Yeah,
over
all
to
of the
there?
seasons on
Yep.
there. Yeah, absolutely. Also, there are some novellas as well that they've released, and they've also been done on your audiobooks too. I haven't listened to them yet, but now that I'm halfway through the series roughly, I'm gonna grab some of the novellas just to like expand around it. But it's just honestly, it's really just really well done. And as I said, I've just gone through from the second half of book 4 and book 5. It's stepped up. Like the first 3 books were good, were really interesting, and I was hooked. But the step up is just like it's gone from this is a good series to I think this might be in my top 3 favorite book series ever. Straight away, just like that.
Yeah, definitely really high praise then.
Yeah, and the best thing as well is that it's so far at least they haven't done the like how a lot of media formats and creative staff have had a little bit of an agenda, or just shot itself in the foot, like some of the Star Wars movies or Game of Thrones season 8, and the latest Star Trek stuff has all gone a bit agenda-y, whereas this one hasn't really. So it started, and they have some good female characters, they have some good non-male characters or whatever, but it's not completely forced in there.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
always good in the
yeah
current climate. It's been a while since we've seen something that hasn't sort of
yeah
bent the knee to agendas.
yeah 100%. And as far as the narrator goes on the audiobooks, it's a guy called Jefferson Mays, and he actually does a really good job with the characters, especially like the main characters. Like it's instantly identifiable, like just from the way he does the voices, even without the said so and so, or so and so said, and then
Yeah.
does it. Even without that part, he does it, and straight away which character's talking. So it's fantastic. It's really really good. There's something for for everything in there as well. There's a bit of everything in there. It's great.
Yeah, sounds really good. I'll definitely, I guess I'll have to get round to reading them myself. Hopefully,
I
if you
really hope
manage
you
to
do.
sell it to me, hopefully anybody listening who was either hadn't heard of it at all or was on the fence about starting it, or maybe if they had already started it, is sort of even more motivated now to continue getting into it.
Yeah, well, I'll do your deal next time we're in the same place. We'll watch the series together as well, and as I say, it's up to season 4.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Are
we'll
they hour
watch
long
that together.
episodes or
Yeah, 40
yeah,
something, 40 minutes odd.
yeah,
Yeah, they're enough to get your teeth stuck into without
each
being too
one, yeah.
long. Yeah,
Perfect. All right. Well, yeah. Hopefully, anyone watching has enjoyed this sort of different, I guess, style of video, a bit of a different format. I think we'll probably end up doing a few things like this where it's something we want to talk about on the channel, but doesn't necessarily constitute an entire series straight away. Um, just a quick recommendation rather than a review or a list or anything like that. Um, so yeah, let us know if you like this type of content as well, and we'll do more, I think.
definitely. All right. We'll see you in the next video.